I have created a Nordic Super League in FootballManager, featuring 60 clubs from 6 Nordic countries, simulating 50 seasons into the future, which club will win the most trophies and be crowned the Nordic champions. Hey, how's it going, and welcome to another Super League video. And up here today I have created a Nordic League system featuring 60 clubs in total from 5 Nordic countries. For those of you who have been around the channel for a long time now, you'll know that I created a similar Super League video last year, but I mistakenly called it a Scandinavian Super League, and people were right to point out to me in the comments that is not Scandinavia, because Scandinavia only includes Norway, Denmark and Sweden. But I called it Scandinavia, being very stupid of course. This time I have renamed it the Nordic Super League, and also a year on from creating that league, my knowledge has increased of creating these league systems, so it's an even better version of that Super League I created, and also it has the correct name as well. So technically there's actually 6 countries that are considered a Nordic country, although Greenland and Faroe Islands aren't technically a country. They are technically part of Denmark, of course, but Greenland, of course, do not have any professional football clubs, so they are not featured here in today's video, where Faroe Islands are featured though. We have 3 leagues in total, all with 20 teams, so 60 clubs in total, and I've taken over the Norwegian league system for the sake of this database here. So in the Nordic Super League, got 20 teams. Then we have Nordic First League, the second tier, again with 20 teams. And then we have the second league, which is the third tier, again with 20 teams. Along with these 3 leagues, I've also created a Nordic Cup, which only features the 60 teams in the top 3 tiers. As always, there's no relegation from the second league, so no amateur Norwegian clubs can get promoted to the second league, as it does not connect to the 4th tier. Along with the Nordic Cup, I've also created a Nordic Super Cup as well, which is a pretty standard Super Cup. The winner of the Nordic Cup and the Super League will play each other every single season. So first of all, let's actually check out the Super League, shall we? Of course, there's not a massive club from a Nordic country, but there are some pretty big clubs, I would say. The biggest club, according to the season preview here at the start of the video, are FC Copenhagen, but it's not like they're a massive odds-on favourite to win the Super League title. We've also got Bodo Glimt from Norway, FC Midtjylland also from Denmark, Molde as well up there, which are a big club, along with Brøndby as well, AGF, another Danish team. So in the top 6 clubs here, Norway have 2 clubs, and Denmark have 4 clubs, battling out for the title. We've also got Rosenborg in as well. The biggest Swedish club at the start here, of course, are Malmo. And also we have one Icelandic club in the Super League as well, which is Vikingar, who are favourites to get relegated. It has to be said, with 700 to 1 odds on to win the title. But as you can see here, there's not much difference between the bottom 8 clubs here, from Tromsø all the way down to Vikingar. Also, as always, the league systems have been sorted by reputation to get rid of any sort of bias. And Vikingar just make it into the Super League, but unfortunately no Faroese clubs make it into the Super League. In the First League, the biggest teams in the First League are the 3 Swedish clubs below Malmo, the 3 biggest teams from Stockholm, I believe. Hammarby are the favourites, and we've got AIK and Djurgårdens as well. We've also got Viborg and Silkeborg as well, who are both Danish clubs. We've got IF Elfsborg, which is another Swedish club as well. Strømsgodset is a Norwegian club. BK Häcken is another Swedish club, I believe. So are IFK Gothenburg as well. HJK, the biggest Finnish club. The 10th biggest in the First League at the start here. We've also got a couple more Icelandic clubs as well in here, in Breiðablik, probably absolutely butchered their name, sorry about that. And KR, I believe, are Icelandic as well, and I think Valur are as well. Well, in the second league, it's mainly dominated by Icelandic, Faroese and Finnish clubs. KA are the biggest ones in the second league, and they are an Icelandic team, I believe. Another Swedish club here in the second league as well, in Kalmar though. And the biggest team from the Faroe Islands, I believe, according to the season preview, are KI. Obviously, when you start getting down to these teams, it gets very, very difficult to distinguish which teams are which. As you can see here by all the single letter names, such as KA, FH, KI, IA, NSI, HB, B36. But the biggest team from Faroe Islands, according to the season preview here, are KI. Also, as always, I've increased the reputation of the leagues here as well. So the Nordic Super League starts off as the 8th biggest league in Europe. I try to be fair with it. Do I think it's bigger than the Jupiler Pro League in Belgium with the teams here? I think it is. Is it as big as the Portuguese Premier League though? Probably not. It's probably very close between these three leagues here, the Eredivisie as well. But I just ranked it in the 8th biggest league. The Nordic First League is the 27th biggest league in Europe. And the second league is the 42nd biggest league in Europe. And as always as well, I've increased the prize money for these leagues as well and got rid of any stupid rules in place. The only rules we've got here in the Super League is a minimum of 4 players trained at the club for 3 years and a maximum squad size of 50 players. And in terms of the prize money, if you win the Nordic Super League, you get £15 million in prize money, £12.5 million for second place and £10 million for third place. In the first league, there's actually no rules in place whatsoever, so that's a good thing to have. And if you win the first league, you get £3 million. You finish in second place, top 2 get promoted automatically. That gets £2.5 million. And teams placed 3rd to 6th place go into a promotion playoff over 2 legs. And then the final will be over 2 legs as well, and they'll be the 3rd team to be promoted to the Super League. In the second league, it's exactly the same format as the first league. The team who wins the second league, though, gets £1 million in prize money as well. Second also gets promoted automatically. And 3rd to 6th place go into the promotion playoff. And as I said already, the teams who finish in the bottom 3 do not get relegated. So these 60 teams will be the 60 teams featuring indefinitely in this database. Into the Nordic Cup. And if you win the Nordic Cup, you get £5 million. Also qualifying for the Europa League, of course. And the runner-up of the Nordic Cups gets £2.5 million as well. And in the Super Cup, if you win the Super Cup, you get £2.5 million. And the runner-up also gets £1 million as well. Well, I said all this about the Nordic League system here. I actually didn't mention the countries that are featured. Of course, that is Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, and Faroe Islands. So actually 6 countries. What am I talking about? Not 5 countries, 6 countries in total. And the biggest team at the start of the video here are FC Copenhagen, are the only 3.5-star team in the league system. But as you can see, past that point, we have a lot of 3-star teams. So there's not much difference between the teams at all here. As I said, there's not really a standout team in the Nordic countries. There's just a lot of teams on a similar level. A lot of decent teams, I shall say. Below FC Copenhagen, the biggest team from Norway are Bodø and Glimt. The second biggest team from Denmark are FC Midtjylland. And the second biggest team from Norway are Molde. Then we have Brøndby, Rosenborg, FC Nordsjælland, and Brann, all from either Norway or Denmark. So they definitely have the best teams on show here today. They also had the most teams represented here in this video. The biggest team from Sweden are, of course, Malmö, who only make it to be the 9th biggest team in the Nordic countries here, I believe. The biggest team from Iceland are, of course, Vikingur R, who start off in the Super League, which is nice to see. And the biggest team from Finland are actually HJK, who are the 3rd biggest 2.5-star team. And of course, the biggest team from Faroe Islands. Well, even though it said KI have a better season preview than HB are actually the biggest Faroese club, with the only Faroese club we're having a 2.5-star reputation here. And then the bottom 4 clubs are all Faroese clubs as well, but they've all got a 2-star reputation, so it's not like the Faroese club's an absolute million miles away from the rest of the team and the rest of the teams, and they have a 2.5-star club in HB, and the biggest team from Finland are only 2.5 stars as well in HJK. So yeah, the Faroese teams certainly have a chance here in this video. As I said, there's not much difference between the teams whatsoever. If you take away the bottom 4 clubs and FC Copenhagen, there's only a half-a-star difference between the rest of the 55 clubs. So a very, very tight league system on our hands here. And it's going to be very interesting to see which team wins the most trophies by the end of the video. So for those of you who are familiar with my Super Leagues, you know how it works. For those of you who are new here to the channel, I will go forward 50 seasons into the future. We'll stop off at 5 season intervals. And at the end, I'll count up all the trophies and crown the champion of the Nordic countries. So 5 seasons have been played already, and already a big change in terms of the reputation here, because now we have 3.5-star clubs. 2 clubs have joined FC Copenhagen on top of the reputation list here. Can't say I'm too surprised at the 2 clubs. FC Midtjylland, so top 2 for Denmark here at the moment, and Bodø and Glimt in 3rd position, the biggest team from Norway, of course. Below that point, we still have many teams with a 3-star reputation.
The biggest ones being 2 Norwegian clubs in Molde and Rosenborg. Then we have 2 Danish clubs in FC Nordsjælland and Brøndby. And then we have 2 Swedish clubs in Malmo and Djurgårdens. In the Super League, they've had 3 different winners so far. The first ever winner of the Nordic Super League were a Norwegian club, and it was Bodø and Glimt who won it in the first season. They also won it in the second season as well. So back-to-back wins for Bodø and Glimt to start off the video here. Then back-to-back wins for a Danish club in FC Midtjylland in 26 and 27. And it took to the 5th season for FC Copenhagen to win their first Super League. But it's now 3 wins in a row for a Danish club. But 3 wins for Denmark so far and 2 for Norway. In this latest league season though, FC Copenhagen were pretty dominant, it has to be said. They finished 15 points clear of other Danish club FC Midtjylland in second place there. And then it's the top 4 made up by 2 more Norwegian clubs in Bodø and Glimt and Molde as well. The biggest team from Sweden this season goes to Malmo, who finished in 8th position there. And unfortunately, it looks like we have got no Icelandic, Finnish or Faroese clubs in the Super League. In the first league, and the latest champions have been Lillestrøm, who are a team from Norway. Tromsø also promoted, also from Norway as well. And Viborg finished in 4th place and got promoted from Denmark. I would say it was a little bit unfortunate for Odd to not get promoted, finishing in 3rd place there. But as you can see, they've qualified for the Europa League. So that means that can only mean one thing. Odd must have won the Nordic Cup in this latest league season. The biggest team from Finland at this stage are HJK. They finished in 8th position in the first league here. Only 4 points away from the playoffs, so not a million miles away from the Super League. KI are the biggest team from the Faroe Islands. They finished in 10th position, so a top half finish for KI in the first league is pretty nice. And who are the biggest team from Iceland? Well, the biggest team from Iceland are still Vikingar R, but they finished 16th place in the first league this season, so not doing particularly very well. Of course, they start off in the Super League, Vikingar R, so the Icelandic team's not doing very well at the moment. And also B36, the other Faroese club, are also in the first league now, so the Faroese clubs are doing better than the Icelandic clubs as it stands. In the second league, and 2 Finnish clubs have been promoted, including SJK, who won the league, and AC Oulu as well. Fredrikstad finished in 6th position, just qualifying for the playoffs from Norway, but they have been promoted to the first league as well. And unfortunately, the team who ends off at this stage as the weakest team go to another Finnish club in FC Lahti, who finished rock bottom of the league, 10 points away from Fram in 19th place. In the Nordic Cup, and the first ever winners were Brøndby, who won it in 2024, then another Danish winner in FC Midtjylland. Rosenborg won their first trophy in 2026. Malmo won their first in 27, and the latest winners of the Nordic Cup are Odd, who won it in 2028. In the Super Cup though, only Danish winners so far. Brøndby won the first ever Super Cup as well in 25, and 3 in a row for FC Midtjylland, who have started off the video as the strongest team. 10 seasons played now, and our list of big teams keep growing and growing, because now we have 6 3.5-star clubs here at the top of the Nordic League system. Bodø and Glimt are officially the biggest club at the moment, followed by fellow Norwegian club Molde, so 2 Norwegians at the top now. And then after that, from 3rd to 5th place are 3 Danish clubs, FC Midtjylland, Brøndby and FC Copenhagen. And the 6th team with a 3.5 reputation are a Swedish club, and it is Malmo. So it's nice to see that we've got 3 nations represented here at the top of the reputation list. We've got 2 Norwegian clubs, 3 Danish clubs, and 1 Swedish club as well. The biggest team from Finland at this stage are, of course, HJK, still there, a 3-star reputation now as well, which is nice. The biggest team from Iceland has changed though. It's now KR, who are the biggest team from Iceland these days, with a 3-star reputation as well. And the biggest team from Faroe Islands, look like they've fallen down quite a bit in the last 5 seasons here, the Faroese clubs, unfortunately. The biggest team from the Faroese clubs are KI still, with a 2.5-star reputation, playing in the second league. Well, in the Super League, we have our first dominant force, it seems like. FC Midtjylland won it again in 2029, making it 3 out of 4 seasons for them, and 4 Danish winners in a row. But Bodø and Glimt have firmly put a stop to that. They won their first of the sequence in 2030, and they made it 4 league titles in a row from 2030 to 2033. So the 2 biggest clubs at the moment goes to Bodø and Glimt and FC Midtjylland. Still only 3 winners so far. 6 for Bodø and Glimt, 3 for FC Midtjylland, and 1 for FC Copenhagen. In this latest league season, Bodø and Glimt finished 11 points clear of Malmo in second place, from Sweden of course. Molde in 3rd place there. Randers FC, the biggest team from Denmark in this latest league season, finishing in 4th place there. Then we have IFK Gothenburg from another team from Sweden, and FC Nordsjælland from Denmark as well in 6th position there. And it's also nice to see the fact we've got 6 teams qualifying for European competition now. 3 for the Champions League, 2 for the Europa League, and 1 for the Europa Conference League. It seems like it was pretty much a season to forget for FC Copenhagen because they finished way down in 16th place. Terrible from them. Only 7 points clear of the relegation zone, which is absolutely terrible. Also nice to see a Finnish club in the Super League now in HJK. Firmly in mid-table there, so they had a pretty good season, it has to be said. And other than HJK, I can't see any Icelandic or Faroese clubs in the Super League here. Well, we're getting a bit of deja vu here, because in the first league, Tromsø and Lillestrøm have both finished in the top 2 again. The same with the last checkpoint here, although last time it was the other way around. Lillestrøm won the championship and Tromsø in 2nd place. This time, Tromsø have won the league title and Lillestrøm in 2nd place there. And also nice to see we have got an Icelandic team in the Super League for next season because KR have been promoted to the Super League. Unfortunately, it seems like we haven't got any Faroese clubs in the top 2 leagues now because HB were in the first league this season, but as you can see there, they have been relegated back to the 2nd league. And in the 2nd league, the latest champions are a Swedish club in IFK Norrköping, and 2 Finnish clubs have been promoted along with them in Ilves and AC Oulu. And unfortunately, the weakest team at this stage goes to Vikingur G. Vikingur G, that is, not Vikingur R. They're not the same team. Vikingur R are from Iceland, but Vikingur G are from the Faroe Islands. And they had a pretty terrible season, it has to be said. They finished bottom of the league with just 11 points and 1 win. Well, in the Nordic Cup, and Brøndby won 2 out of 3 Nordic Cups in 2029 and 2031. Randers FC from Denmark had a good season this season, finishing in 4th place. They won the Cup in 2030. The last 2 seasons, though, have been won by a Norwegian club, Rosenborg in 2032 and Molde in 2033. And in the Super Cup, FC Copenhagen won it in 2029, followed by Midtjylland again, then Randers FC, Brøndby, and then Bodo and Glimt are the latest winners of the Super Cup. Well, we've had our first winner of a European competition and our second winner as well. In 2031, Molde won the Europa Conference League, beating Sevilla in that final. The following season, Brøndby won it, beating Valencia in the final. And then the following season, another Spanish Nordic final, but this time the Spanish came out on top, Athletic Bilbao beating Rosenborg in that final. Well, after 10 seasons in terms of the trophy race, in 3rd place we have Brøndby from Denmark with 6 trophies. In 2nd place we have Bodo and Glimt with 7 trophies from Norway, of course, but in 1st place are FC Midtjylland of Denmark with 8 trophies. This is a trophy count from all the competitions, by the way. Bodo and Glimt have won the most Super Leagues with 6, but they're yet to win the Nordic Cup, where FC Midtjylland have won a few Nordic Cups already, and they are the biggest team at the moment in terms of the trophy race. But as you can see here, in this latest league season, Bodo and Glimt finished 37 points clear of FC Midtjylland and finished in 13th place. So Bodo and Glimt are dominating the Super League at the moment. 4 league titles in a row for them and counting, but also Brøndby are doing very well as well. They're yet to win the Super League title, but they're a bit of a Cup and Super Cup legend at the moment, and they've also won a European trophy as well. Now going forward into 15 seasons into the future, can we see a different team win the Super League? Before we go any further with this video though, guys, as always, these videos take a lot of work, a lot of research. I have to create the league as well through the editor, of course, and then I have to simulate the league system. And then, of course, I need to create the video and edit the video as well. So please remember to hit that like button for me. It literally takes less than half a second, and it means a lot for the video as well. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. I'm only 3 subs away from hitting 2.5k, so if I can get that by the end of the day from this video being released, that'll be greatly appreciated. Well, 15 seasons played now, and now we have 10 3.5-star clubs here. So again, the league is just extremely tight here. The biggest team, though, officially at the top are Bodo and Glimt still, and Molde, also from Norway, in 2nd position there. Then we have Malmö in 3rd position, the biggest team from Sweden, and Randers FC, the biggest team from Denmark now, according to reputation. Closely followed by FC Copenhagen there, of course, as well, though. 2 more Swedish clubs as well, in IFK Gothenburg and Djurgårdens. And then we have 3 more Danish clubs, including FC Midtjylland, FC Nordsjælland, and Brøndby as well. And the biggest teams just outside the 3.5-star teams are Rosenborg from Norway and AIK from Sweden as well. The biggest team from Finland are still HJK with a 3-star reputation there. KR are still the biggest team from Iceland with a 3-star reputation as well. And the biggest team from the Faroe Islands are HB still as well with a 2.5-star reputation. Well, in the Super League, and Bodo and Glimt did make it 5 Super Leagues in a row in 2034. So that is the biggest sequence we've seen so far. But they are finally stopped by a new different winner and a new nation as well, because Malmo have won Sweden's first ever Nordic Super League, winning it in 2035. Normal service resumed after that for Bodo and Glimt, though, winning back-to-back Super Leagues in 36 and 37, making it 7 out of 8 Super League titles for them, which is crazy. And now we have another new winner again, this time Molde, another Norwegian club of course. They have won it in the latest league season in 2038. Also nice to see that the league has climbed to be the 6th biggest league in Europe, just outside the top 5. Wow, what can I say about this latest league season here? What a thrilling title race this is. Only 1 point separating Molde in first place and FC Copenhagen in 4th place there. So wow, a crazy title race here. Commiserations to IFK Gothenburg, just missing out by 1 point. That would be their first ever Super League win as well. Malmo only 1 point behind as well, and FC Copenhagen of course 1 point behind. Bodo and Glimt had quite a fall off this season. They were 12 points behind the winners Molde in 5th place there, and Brøndby in 6th place as well with 62 points there. HJK from Finland remain in the Super League here, finishing in 13th place. So they're not doing that much in the Super League, HJK, but they're firmly a mid-table Super League team, which is a lot better than being a 2nd or 3rd tier team, let's be honest. Well, the latest champions of the First League goes to Kalmar from Sweden, who finished only 1 point clear of KR from Iceland in 2nd place there. So KR back in the Super League again, which is nice to see. And also Tromsø of Norway back in the Super League as well. Of what I can see here, unfortunately, there's no Faroese clubs in the First League. In the Second League, and we have 3 Norwegian clubs being promoted this season, including Viking, Fredrikstad and Sandefjord, who finished in the top 3 this season. Unfortunately, the weakest team at this point goes to a Faroese club, and it goes to B36, who finished bottom of the league with just 29 points. In the Cup, and Molde actually made it back-to-back Cups in 2034. Then IFK Gothenburg won it in 35, followed by FC Copenhagen, then Randers FC. And the latest winners are Molde again, who have won it in 2038. So Molde are getting much stronger, it seems like, at the moment. They have won 3 Cups in the last 6 seasons, and they've also completed a domestic double in this latest league season. Also nice to see that the Cup has climbed to be the 2nd biggest Cup in Europe, only behind the English FA Cup now. And in the Super Cup, Molde won back-to-back Super Cups as well in 34 and 35. Then IFK Gothenburg won it in 36. And now back-to-back Super Cup wins for Bodo and Glimt. Well, for the first time in the video, our 3.5-star clubs have gone down in the last 5 seasons. Last time we checked, we have 10 3.5-star clubs. Now we only have 8, unfortunately. And we have a new team at the top now. I can't say I'm too surprised at what I saw in the last checkpoint there. Molde are now officially the biggest team in the Nordic League system here. But Bodo and Glimt still make it in Norway 1 and 2. It's just they're swapped around now. Molde on top, Bodo and Glimt in 2nd place. The biggest team from Denmark are FC Copenhagen again in 3rd position there. And the biggest team from Sweden remains to be Malmo. The other 3.5-star clubs include Randers FC from Denmark, IFK Gothenburg and Djurgårdens from Sweden, and FC Nordsjælland from Denmark as well, of course. And the biggest 3-star clubs are Rosenborg, Brøndby and Vejle. I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly, sorry about that, but sorry about that, guys. Vejle is how I'm going to pronounce it, but I guarantee you I'm absolutely butchering the pronunciation of that name there. Well, we have a new biggest team from Finland. It's no longer HJK, it's now SJK, who are officially the biggest team from Finland at the moment with a 3-star reputation. The biggest team from Iceland remain KR, who have definitely overtaken Vikingur R as the most iconic Icelandic club, it has to be said. And the biggest Faroese club these days are HB still, of course, but they've still got a 2.5-star reputation, HB. So the Faroese clubs aren't doing that much, it has to be said, but not like we was expecting them to do too much in the video here. But saying that, still 30 seasons left to go, so we shall see what they do. And hopefully maybe a Finnish or Icelandic club as well can win some sort of trophy by the end of the video. Well, in the Super League, and I think it's safe to say that the Norwegian clubs are firmly dominating at the moment. Bodo and Glimt won another Super League in 2039, but then Molde won 3 in a row from 2040 to 2042. And the latest league champions are Bodo and Glimt again, who won it in 2043. So it's now actually 8 Norwegian wins in a row from 36 to 43. Malmo stopped it in 2035, but before that point we had 5 wins in a row for Bodo and Glimt. So that means 13 of the last 14 league seasons have been won by a Norwegian club. And Denmark haven't won a Super League since 2029. So the Danish clubs have gone very quiet in terms of Super League wins. And Norway just keep dominating at the moment. And only 2 teams are winning it. Bodo and Glimt and Molde. Talking of those 2 teams, they finished as the top 2 again, unsurprisingly. Bodo and Glimt only 2 points clear of Molde in second place there. FC Copenhagen, Randers not a million miles away either, only 4 and 5 points behind. And Malmo and IFK Gothenburg in 5th and 6th place as well. Wow, would you look at that? How things change very quickly here, because FC Midtjylland, one of the early dominant forces, have been relegated to the First League, finishing second from bottom with just 36 points. Viking and HJK have also been relegated as well. So that means for next season we only have Danish, Norwegian and Swedish clubs in the Super League, which is unfortunate. And also Brøndby aren't doing much better either. They only just finished on the relegation zone, only 4 points clear of Viking at 18th place there. But FC Midtjylland have been relegated. In the First League, and the latest champions have been Tromsø again from Norway, who won it with 72 points. SJK means they've been promoted, means there'll be another Finnish club in the Super League next season, which is nice. And that team again, Vejla, or Vila, however you want to pronounce their name, from Denmark, also been promoted to the Super League. We do have an Icelandic club in the First League in KR there, finishing in 10th place, so a top half finish for them. Unfortunately, Vikingur R have been relegated again to the Second League, and unfortunately, of course, there is no Faroese clubs here in the First League. In the Second League, an FC Hacker won the Second League with 80 points. A Finnish club, Ilves, another Finnish club, have been promoted along with them. And KA, which is an Icelandic club, have also been promoted to the First League. And unfortunately, the weakest team at this stage goes to another Faroese club, of course, and this time it's KI. Well, in the Cup, and the Norwegian clubs might be dominating the Super League, but they're not dominating the Nordic Cup. IFK Gothenburg won it again in the 2039. Then Malmo won back-to-back cups, making it 3 Sweden wins in a row. And then FC Copenhagen of Denmark, of course, made it back-to-back cups as well in 2042 and 2043. And in the Super Cup, Molde won it again in 39, followed by Bodo and Glimt. Back-to-back Super Cups for Malmo as well. And FC Copenhagen have won a cup double this season. Well, in the Europa Conference League, you had another 3 finalists again. This time, Djurgårdens won it in 2040, from Sweden, of course, beating Fiorentina in the 2040 final. 2 seasons later, FC Copenhagen won it, beating Monaco in the final. But in this latest season, unfortunately, Malmo lost the final to Real Betis. Well, 25 seasons played now, and it's nice to see that we have 14 3.5-star clubs now. So what a competitive Super League we have, let's be honest here. FC Copenhagen are officially the biggest team in the Nordic countries again. So for the first time in a long while, it's not a Norwegian team at top here. And also, the top 2 aren't Norwegian either. FC Copenhagen from Denmark are the biggest team officially. And then Malmo from Sweden in second place there. Molde and Bodo Glimt, the 2 Norwegian clubs I mentioned here, in 3rd and 4th place now. Then we've got Randers FC from Denmark. Then IFK Gothenburg from Sweden. Then we've got Rosenborg and Valerenga, both from Norway. Then we have Brøndby, FC Nordsjælland from Denmark. Djurgårdens from Sweden, Lillestrøm from Norway, and also HJK from Finland. They now have a 3.5-star reputation, and they lost their biggest they lost the biggest club in Finland status at the last checkpoint here. So they've done amazing things in the last 5 seasons, back to being the biggest team from Finland and with a 3.5-star reputation. So very nice for them. And the last team with a 3.5-star reputation goes to AGF, which is another team from Denmark. Well, the biggest team from Iceland are still KR. They still have a 3-star reputation, which is nice to see. And the biggest team from the Faroe Islands are NSI these days, who have got a 2.5-star reputation. Well, finally, it seems like the Norwegian domination in the Super League has come to an end. Molde did win it again, though, in 2044, but a Norwegian club hasn't won it in the last 4 seasons. FC Copenhagen back to winning ways in the Super League, winning back-to-back Super Leagues in 45 and 46. These latest 2 seasons, though, have been won by Malmo, who've also won back-to-back Super Leagues in 47 and 48. And it looks like these 2 teams are the 2 big boys at the moment, because look at this latest league table here. Malmo only just won the Super League by goal difference over FC Copenhagen in second place there. Molde only 5 points behind in third place there. Vålerenga, the second biggest Norwegian club this season, in fourth place. And FC Nordsjælland in fifth place there as well. HJK from Finland finishing the top half this season, finishing 8th place with 61 points, so very nice from them. We have a second team in the from Finland in the Super League as well, in SJK, just surviving relegation. We had 3 Finnish teams in the Super League this season as well, because AC Oulu were in the Super League, but they have been relegated to the First League. Talking of the First League, and 2 Swedish clubs have been promoted from the First League this season. IFK Gothenburg, completely dominant this season. Quite surprising to see them down in the First League, to be honest. They were very close to winning the Super League not too long ago. They finished 19 points clear of Hammarby, also from Sweden, in second place there. KR from Iceland almost got promoted, but they lost in the playoffs. They lost to Aalborg, actually, who got promoted from Denmark. We have a few Icelandic clubs in the First League these days, but unfortunately no Faroese clubs as I can see in the First League. Wow, in the Cup, and a new dominant force, it has to be said, FC Copenhagen. Made it 3 cups in a row in 2044, but look at this, they have won 5 of the last 7 Nordic Cups, winning it again in 46 and 47, so 5 out of 6 seasons actually in that period there, so very nice story from FC Copenhagen that. Malmo though won it again in 2045, and the latest winners of the Nordic Cup, despite being relegated from the Super League, Viking from Norway have won the Nordic Cup in 2048. Well, at the halfway point here, we have a very, very thrilling trophy race, it has to be said. Only 2 trophies separating the top 3 clubs. In third place, we have Molde from Norway with 13 trophies after 25 seasons. FC Copenhagen from Denmark, of course, in second place with 14 trophies. But despite finishing in 13th place this season, Bodø and Glimt are still the top team with 15 trophies so far. Also, Malmo aren't too far away as well, it has to be said, with 10 trophies, I believe, or 11. I can't remember which one it was exactly. But yeah, they're very close as well. And also, they've won back-to-back league titles. So these 4 teams especially are the top boys at the moment in the league system. But the team who have won the most trophies at the halfway stage here are Bodø and Glimt with 15 trophies. Finally, for the first time in this video, after 30 seasons, we have a 4-star club in the Nordic League system. We actually have 2 4-star clubs. FC Copenhagen, the biggest team at the moment from Denmark, and Malmo from Sweden. Both with 4-star continental reputation. These 2 teams were the 2 biggest after the last checkpoint there, and it seems like they've just grown even bigger in the last 5 seasons. Below that point though, the chasing pack is absolutely massive. We have 16 3.5-star clubs these days, including IFK Gothenburg, Randers, Rosenborg, Bodø and Glimt, Vålerenga. Then we've got IAK and Djurgårdens, FC Nordsjælland, Brøndby, Kalmar, AGF, SJK, they're now the biggest team from Finland again. Then we've got Vejle, Lillestrøm, FC Midtjylland, and HJK as well. So yeah, we've got one hell of a competitive league, even more competitive these days. It's absolutely crazy to say. Just keeps getting more competitive over the years gone by here. But it's nice to see we've got 2 teams away from the chasing pack now in FC Copenhagen and Malmo. We've also got 2 Finnish clubs now, with both with 3.5-star reputations, so they're doing very well. The biggest team from Iceland are still KR with their 3-star reputation. And the biggest team from the Faroe Islands are NSI still with a 2.5-star reputation, just outside the 3-star clubs there, NSI. So let's hope they can get to a 3-star reputation in the next checkpoint. Well, in the Super League, I think it's safe to say that Malmo and FC Copenhagen are the 2 new dominant forces. It was 8 seasons in a row where one of these 2 clubs won the Super League. Malmo made it 3 in a row in 2049. It's nice to see. And then after that, though, FC Copenhagen made it 3 in a row for them from 2050 to 2052. And despite these 2 teams being the dominant force of the league, a little bit of surprise this season because IFK Gothenburg back in the Super League and also winning it for the first time as well in 2053. Talking of IFK Gothenburg, they're actually pretty dominant this season. They finished 11 points clear of fellow Swedes, Malmo in second place there. FC Copenhagen in third place with 77 points. And we have Bodø and Glimt and Rosenborg, both Norwegian clubs, in 4th and 5th. And AIK, another Swedish club, in 6th place there. So in the top, well, actually the top 7, we have 4 Swedish clubs 2 Norwegian clubs and 1 Danish club. So the Swedish clubs didn't start off as the best, it has to be said. It was all about the Danish and Norwegian clubs at the start of the video, but now it looks like the biggest nation on show at the moment are the Swedish club. Well, in the Super League this season, we actually have 3 Finnish clubs in the Super League in SJK, AC Oulu and FC Haka. And the winner of the first league this season goes to AGF from Denmark, and Vesla, also from Denmark, have been promoted. And HJK have also been promoted with 68 points. So there'll be 4 Finnish clubs in the Super League for next season. Look at that though, so close to getting a Faroese club in the Super League for the first time, because Vikingur G, not Vikingur R. Vikingur R are a Icelandic club, of course, but Vikingur G from the Faroe Islands made it to the first league playoffs, but unfortunately they missed out this season. But can we get a Faroese club in the Super League for the first time very soon? That would be very nice. In the Nordic Cup, and Sweden were dominant for 4 seasons. Malmo actually won back-to-back cups in 49 and 50. Then IFK Gothenburg won it, and then Malmo made it 3 out of 4 cups for them in 2052. The latest winners, though, are a Norwegian club in Rosenborg, who won it in 2053. Well, we're still yet to see a Nordic club reach a Europa League final, and of course a Champions League final is just completely unrealistic. But 2 more finalists in the Europa Conference League. FC Nordsjælland made the 2049 final, but unfortunately lost to Lille in that final. And in the latest season, Rosenborg reached the final, but unfortunately they lost that final to Athletic Bilbao in 2053. And interestingly enough, they actually lost to Athletic Bilbao 20 seasons earlier as well in the Europa Conference League. So if they get them in the final for a 3rd time, hopefully it'll be 3rd time lucky for Rosenborg. Well, 35 seasons played here, and our 4-star clubs keep growing, it seems, because now we have 3 4-star clubs here in the league system. IFK Gothenburg are now officially the biggest Nordic club with a 4-star continental reputation. FC Copenhagen in 2nd place, and Malmo still have a 4-star reputation, but only a national rating these days, unfortunately for them. But these 3 are the biggest 3 at the moment, 2 from Sweden and 1 from Denmark. Below that point, of course, the 3.5-star clubs are, there's a lot of them, it has to be said. Bodø and Glimt and Rosenborg, the 2 biggest from Norway. Then we have AGF and Randers, both from Denmark. Vålerenga from Norway. Then we have Djurgårdens and AIK, both from Sweden. SJK from Finland. Then we've got Lillestrøm, FC Nordsjælland, HJK and AC Oulu, both from Finland. Then we've got Odd, Vesla and FC Midtjylland as well. Also, KR, the biggest Icelandic club, just outside the 3.5-star clubs. So they're doing very well, it has to be said. And the biggest Faroese club at this point goes to NSI still, of course. But now they have a 3-star reputation, which is very nice to see. So NSI are getting better and better. Can we see them in the Super League at some point? Talking of the Super League, and now we have a Swedish domination on our hands here, because the last 6 winners have been all Swedish clubs. Malmo won it again in 2054, but then after that point, IFK Gothenburg are joining the party here, because they have won 4 Super Leagues in a row from 2055 to 2058. And they have also won 5 of the last 6 Super Leagues as well. So things are changing here in the Super League, has to be said. Before that point, we had FC Copenhagen and Malmo dominating things. And obviously before that, we had the Norwegian domination. And Danish clubs also had a good time of things at the start of the video here. But now it is firmly all about the Swedish clubs. 5 out of 6 for IFK Gothenburg, and then 1 out of 6 for Malmo as well. IFK Gothenburg finished 9 points clear of fellow Swede Malmo in 2nd place this season. We have 4 teams qualifying for the Champions League now, which is very nice to see. 2 Swedish clubs in Gothenburg and Malmo, of course, and then also 2 Norwegian clubs in Vålerenga and Rosenborg. Not the Norwegian clubs we're used to seeing in Bodø and Glimt and Molde. Now we have Vålerenga and Rosenborg here. And also Lillestrøm, the 3rd biggest Norwegian club, finishing in 6th place. Randers FC in 5th place as well. Wow, look at that. Just outside the European places are 2 Finnish clubs in HJK and AC Oulu. And FC Copenhagen have fallen down quite a bit this season in 9th place there. Bodø and Glimt in 11th place as well. And also we have an Icelandic team in the Super League, which is nice to see. And KR finished in 15th place this season, firmly in mid-table. Hold 12 points clear of the relegation zone. So nice to see an Icelandic team back in the Super League. In the first league, and the latest champions have been Vesla, who won it with 76 points. FC Midtjylland have been relegated again, but at least they're back in the Super League this season. and also Sarpsborg have been promoted as well. But look at the state of this. Look at Molde. What on earth are Molde doing here in the first league? Oh my word. The Norwegian clubs are really taking a hit at the moment. Molde in 5th place in the first league, which is very surprising, has to be said. But also Brøndby. Look at Brøndby. Brøndby in 12th position in the first league. So what on earth has happened to them as well? In the cup, and IFK Gothenburg also won back-to-back cups in 54 and 55. A little bit of a surprise the following 2 seasons, because AGF from Denmark won back-to-back cups in 56 and 57. And the latest winners have been fellow Danish club FC Copenhagen. It's forever changing here in this Nordic League system, because now after 40 seasons played, we have 6 4-star clubs now. And the top 3 clubs are now Norwegian. We just had a Swedish domination. Now it looks like we have a Norwegian domination again. And the biggest team from the Nordic League system is a little bit surprising. It's Vålerenga. Vålerenga, they're a decent-sized Nordic club, Vålerenga, but to see them being top of the list is a little bit surprising, but not too surprising. Then you have Rosenborg in 2nd place. These 2 clubs with a 4-star continental reputation. And then we have Bodø and Glimt, also from Norway, in 3rd place. We have FC Copenhagen of Denmark, IFK Gothenburg and Malmo, both from Sweden. Those 4 clubs, though, all with 4-star reputation, but only a national rating. Still, the chase and pack is massive in terms of the 3.5-star clubs. We've got Randers FC and AGF, both from Denmark. And we've got AC Oulu from Finland, the biggest Finnish club these days. Then we have AIK Djurgårdens, both from Sweden. We've got FC Nordsjælland from Denmark. Strømsgodset from Norway. Then we've got SJK from Finland as well. Lillestrøm from Norway, Vejle from Denmark, Kalmar from Sweden, and then we've got IFK Mariehamn from Finland, and Viking also from Norway as well. They are all the 3.5-star clubs. Again, the biggest team from Iceland are, of course, KR with their 3-star reputation. They did have a 3.5-star reputation last season, so they did get to that point, but they have declined this season, unfortunately. And the biggest team from the Faroe Islands are, of course, still NSI with that 3-star reputation. Wow, okay, the Norwegian clubs are back dominating the Super League, and back with a bang as well, it has to be said. The last 5 winners have been all Norwegian clubs. Bodø and Glimt won it again in 2059, but look at Vålerenga. Look at Vålerenga. They won their first Super League title in 2060, and they've now won 4 in a row, and counting, from 60 to 63. The biggest sequence we've had so far is, of course, Bodø and Glimt, who won 5 Super Leagues in a row. They also won their first Super League for a long time there in 59. But also IFK Gothenburg have won 4 in a row in 55 to 58. And now Vålerenga have also won 4 in a row and counting as well. Also nice to see that the Super League has cracked the top 5 for the first time in the video, taking over the French League in there. And in this latest league season, what a battle we had on our hands. Only 1 point separating Vålerenga in 1st place and Bodø and Glimt in 2nd place there. Malmo finished in 3rd place this season. They've got Rosenborg in 4th, IFK Gothenburg in 5th, and AC Oulu from Finland finished in 6th place this season, qualifying for the Europa Conference League, so very well indeed from them. And FC Copenhagen in 8th place there, which is a little bit disappointing. Well, we did have 2 Icelandic clubs in the Super League this season, but unfortunately both of them have been relegated in KR and Breiðablik. In the first league, and the latest champions have been Kalmar from Sweden, and also Ilves from Finland and Viking from Norway have also been promoted to the Super League. Brøndby remain in the first league, but they've done a lot better this time round, only just missing out by goal difference for automatic promotion. FC Midtjylland, though, definitely can't repeat their early video form where they won a few Super League titles. Now only good enough to be a bottom half first league team. In the Nordic Cup, and Rosenborg won that in 59, followed by IFK Gothenburg. Vålerenga won back-to-back cups in 61 and 62, so in those 2 seasons they won a domestic double as well. And the latest champions are FC Copenhagen, winning it in 2063. Well, we've had another 3 finalists in the Europa Conference League, and it was 3 finalists in a row for Danish clubs. FC Copenhagen won it in 2060, beating Hoffenheim in the final. The following season, AGF lost the final to Werder Bremen, and FC Copenhagen reached the final again, but this time losing out to Atlanta. Well, only 10 seasons left to go, and we have a breakaway team at the moment, but still not too much in between the teams here. In 4th place with 17 trophies are Malmo from Sweden. In joint 2nd place, we have Bodø and Glimt and IFK Gothenburg, both with 18 trophies. Bodø and Glimt from Norway, Gothenburg from Sweden, of course, but Out in the lead with 23 trophies are FC Copenhagen from Denmark. So with 10 seasons left to go, can any team catch these top 4 here? Vålerenga have won 4 Super Leagues in a row. What can they do in the next 10 seasons? And also we've got Rosenborg as well, who are doing pretty well these days, it has to be said. Still yet to win the Super League title though. And it looks like those days are over though for Molde and FC Midtjylland, seeing as both of them are staying in the first league as it stands. 45 seasons played now, and Vålerenga are still the biggest team in the Nordic Super League here. And now we have 5 4-star clubs, but they all have a continental rating. So amazing stuff here in these latter stages of the video. Vålerenga from Norway on top position, of course. And we've got Malmo in Sweden in second place. Bodø and Glimt also from Norway in third. FC Copenhagen from Denmark in fourth. And then Rosenborg from Norway in fifth place there. The biggest 3.5-star club are IFK Gothenburg. Then we've got Randers FC, Lillestrøm, AC Oulu, the biggest team from Finland. Then we've got AGF, SJK, Strøm's Godset as well. We've also got AIK, Viking, Kalmar, Odd, OB, AAB, Ilves and Hammarby as well. The biggest team from Iceland are still, of course, KR, who are also the biggest 3-star team, which is nice to see. And the biggest team from the Faroe Islands, surprise, surprise, are NSI. This time, though, unfortunately, their reputation has declined to only being a 2.5-star team. Well, in the Super League, and Vålerenga broke the record because they actually made it 6 Super Leagues in a row from 2060 to 2065 before they were finally stopped by Malmo, who won back-to-back Super Leagues themselves in 66 and 67. But Vålerenga back to winning ways in this latest league season with in 2068. And talking of Vålerenga, they were pretty dominant in this latest league season, it has to be said. They finished with 95 points. 22 points clear of Malmo in second place there. So are Vålerenga making a late surge to try and be the biggest team from the Nordic countries? They may have left it a little too late, to be honest, but they're certainly making a good go of it to try and win as many trophies as possible here. Malmo in second place, a mile behind Vålerenga there. FC Copenhagen in third place, and we've got Rosenborg in fourth and IFK Gothenburg in fifth place there. The biggest team from Finland are AC Oulu. They finished in 13th place, just above fellow Finn team SJK in 14th place. We did have an Icelandic team in the Super League this season, but Breiðablik have been relegated, unfortunately, and Brøndby have been relegated again, finishing bottom of the league with just 20 points. In the first league, and what a title battle we had on our hands here. Only 2 points separating the top 4 clubs. Ilves won the title in the end with 68 points, Hammarby in second place, and Odd also got promoted in third place there as well. Also, Molde are still here in the first league. I did actually forgot to mention they got relegated to the second league, actually, Molde, so they went absolutely terribly. They are back in the first league, but only in 10th place, so I think it's fair to say their days of winning the Super League are firmly over. Also, FC Nordsjælland, Djurgårdens, FC Midtjylland and Brann all finishing in the bottom half of the first league. In the Nordic Cup, and Bodø and Glimt won that in 64 and 66. Lillestrøm won it in 65. Vålerenga made it 4 Norwegian wins in a row in 2067. The latest winners, though, are FC Copenhagen of Denmark. We've had another winner of the Europa Conference League, and it is Rosenborg. They have won the Europa Conference League finally after losing twice to Athletic Bilbao. They didn't get Athletic Bilbao in this final. They got Trabzonspor, and they beat them in the 2067 final. Well, only 5 seasons left to go here, and the trophy race is still very much on, it has to be said. In 5th place, we have Vålerenga with 15 trophies. In 4th place, we have IFK Gothenburg with 18. In 3rd place, we have Malmo with 19. And in 2nd place, we have Bodø and Glimt with 22. And in 1st place are FC Copenhagen with 24 trophies. So theoretically, all 5 of these clubs can win the most trophies by the end of the video here. Vålerenga will be hard for them, seeing as they're 9 trophies behind FC Copenhagen. But by the way they're performing, it certainly can be done. But to be honest, it looks like it's a battle between FC Copenhagen and Bodø and Glimt. Which one of these 2, or any of the other 3, will win the most trophies come end of the video. Wow, what a lovely story to end off the video here, because 50 seasons played, and for the first time ever, we see a 4.5-star club from the Nordic countries, and it is, of course, Vålerenga. Vålerenga, the dominant force in the last 15-20 seasons. Have they done enough? Have they managed to win enough trophies to win the most trophies out of nowhere in the Nordic League system here? Be interesting to see in a minute. Check it out to see who has won the most trophies. But anyway, they've done amazing things in the last 20 seasons, it has to be said. And they're the only team to ever reach a 4.5-star reputation. Let's be honest, that's a very big team. A very, very big team. That's a Champions League competing team, it has to be said. You know, a team who can reach the round of 16 quarter-final stages. So Vålerenga, amazing stuff here in the latter stages of the video. After that point, though, we still have 4-star continental teams in Malmo, FC Copenhagen, Bodo and Glimt, and Rosenborg. And of course, the 3.5-star clubs is a massive list, it has to be said. We've got Randers, Kalmar, Lillestrøm, AIK. The biggest team from Finland these days are Ilves this time round. The biggest team from Iceland are, of course, still KR, who end off the video with 3.5-star reputation, which is also very nice to see. And Breiðablik, another Icelandic club, also end off the video with a 3.5-star reputation, which is, of course, very nice as well. And surprise, surprise, the biggest team from the Faroe Islands are, of course, NSI. And unfortunately, they end off the video with a 2.5-star reputation, but they are the biggest 2.5-star club. Well, in the Super League, and Vålerenga certainly gave it a great effort to win the most trophies. I think they may have just fell just a little bit short, though. They did win 4 Super Leagues in a row again, though, from 2068 to 2071. But Malmo end off the video with back-to-back Super League titles in 72 and 73. So that actually means in the last 14 Super Leagues, only 2 teams won it, either Vålerenga or Malmo. So these two certainly end off the video as the dominant Super League forces. In this latest league season as well, Malmo got to 95 points as well, only losing 1 game all season. 8 points clear of Vålerenga in second place. Look at Ilves. Ilves from Finland finished in 3rd place this season with 77 points, so amazing stuff from them. FC Copenhagen in 4th place and Rosenborg in 5th place. Also KR, look at KR. Finishing in 9th place, the biggest team from Iceland, and Breiðablik, not much worse, let's be honest, in 11th place there. So the Icelandic teams also end up the video very strongly. But look at Ilves. Ilves in 3rd place, out of nowhere. A very nice story from them. Also, another Icelandic team were in the Super League this season in Fram, but unfortunately they finished bottom of the league with just 23 points. In the first league, and the final ever champions were a Norwegian club in Viking. They got promoted along with Odd, also from Norway, and IFK Norrköping from Sweden. And the final ever winner of the second league were Molde, so they fell off an absolute cliff in this video. But also, not just Molde, look at FC Midtjylland as well. They've both been promoted to the first league again, but these two were 2 of the biggest clubs at the start of the video, and Molde especially were the biggest team at one point. So yeah, terrible decline from these 2 clubs. Molde and FC Midtjylland should not be seeing either of these 2 in the 3rd tier. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to count up these trophies in a minute, but Vålerenga have given it an amazing effort here. Have they done enough? I'm not sure. They won 4 Nordic Cups in a row from 69 to 72. So, wow, what an effort from them. What a team they have been. FC Copenhagen won the last ever Nordic Cup, though, in 73. And also, look at that. The Nordic Cup also ends off the video as the biggest cup competition in Europe and the world. In the Super Cup as well, look at this. Vålerenga won 4 of the last 6 Super Cups, and Malmo won the other 2. So Vålerenga, wow, they could have won the most trophies looking at this. FC Copenhagen gone very quiet, it has to be said, and Bodo and Glimt gone very quiet as well. Of what I can see here, it is between Vålerenga and Malmo. I will count it up very, very soon. Which team have won the most trophies? Well, before I actually count up the trophies, let's just check out a couple of records here from the Super League. Bodo and Glimt won the most Super League titles, winning 12. Vålerenga, though, won the most trophies in a row in 6 in a row. They also got the most points of the season as well, in 98 points in 2017. So Bodo and Glimt may have won the most Super League titles, but Vålerenga were the best team the Super League has ever seen. In the first league, and the most times winner of the first league were actually Hammarby, who won 3 first league titles. And the most points of the season actually went to IFK Gothenburg, got 89 points in 2048. And in the second league, the most times winner of the second league were actually Sonderjyske from Denmark, who won 4 second league titles. And the most points in the season went to Silkeborg, also from Denmark, who got 89 points in a season. Well, what a thrilling trophy race to end off the video here. Unfortunately, IFK Gothenburg, they declined in the final 5 seasons. They actually end off the video in the first league, so They did not come close to winning the most trophies in the end, unfortunately. But there's 4 teams left who are extremely close to winning the most trophies in the Nordic League system here. In 4th place with 22 trophies, we have Bodø and Glimt from Norway. In 2nd place with 23 trophies are Malmo from Sweden, of course. But in joint 1st position, both with 25 trophies, are FC Copenhagen of Denmark and Vålerenga from Norway. So we actually have a tie to the end of this video with the most trophies. How do we break this tie? Well, I'll tell you how we break this tie. Vålerenga actually reached the Club World Championship final in 2069. Hence why they've got a 4.5-star reputation. You know what? Judging on what I've seen as FC Copenhagen were a team that won trophies in the first half of the video. Vålerenga were nowhere to be seen until about the 30 season mark. So, in my opinion, Vålerenga have won the video. But, technically, FC Copenhagen and Vålerenga finish off the video in joint 1st place, both with 25 trophies. But let's be honest, Malmo and Bodø and Glimt were not far behind. They did very well themselves as well. Malmo ended off the video as back-to-back league champions as well. Rosenborg deserve a mention. They won a couple of European trophies, a few cups as well, but never won the Super League. Ilves never won a trophy. Not a major trophy anyway, but they finished 3rd place from Finland there, of course. Unfortunately, we never saw a Finnish, Icelandic or Faroese club ever win a major trophy, unfortunately there. KR as well deserve a mention, finishing in the top half of the Super League at the end of the video here. Brøndby started off quite well, has to be said, but also never won the Super League, I believe. IFK Gothenburg also deserve a mention, of course. They won 18 trophies in total, but they weren't consistent enough, IFK Gothenburg. They had a period where they won 4 Super Leagues in a row, I believe it was. But they weren't consistent enough. They got relegated on a few occasions, so they didn't stay at the top of the league system for long enough, Gothenburg. That is what let them down, it has to be said. And, well, the other teams, let's be honest, well, they started off pretty well, but Molde and FC Midtjylland ended off the video absolutely terribly in the 2nd league. So that is the end of this video, guys. As always, if you've got your own recommendations for any Super League videos to make, please let me know down in the comment section below. I will tell you now, though, the Roman Empire Super League is the next league system to come from my channel here. And I have to be honest, this could be my most exciting league system to date. You got 5 leagues to look forward to, 100 clubs in total from at least 45 countries. So make sure you look out for that one. That'll come in a week or 2. And also, after that point as well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a NATO league system as well. So another very interesting one. But be sure to look out for the Roman Empire league system. Believe me when I say there are some big shocks. Some massive, massive shocks in that league system. A lot of massive clubs, as you can imagine. The Roman Empire was absolutely massive. And it also covers 3 continents as well. But that is the end of this video though, guys. Please remember to hit that like button if you like the video, of course. And also, if you're new around here, you want to see more videos like this, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out and be much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.